about ourselves as holy, as chosen, as special, as superior? Because we're told that we're everything the opposite of that, right? Now let me give you another thing that it means to be an Israelite. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. So understanding those things, you are all those things to God. The white man don't feel like that about you, right? Your girl might not even feel like that about you. But the one person who does feel like that about you is the Most High God. But we don't treat They willing to give up their life because they don't think they nothing, right? They grow up in the hood, they ain't got nothing anyway, so if they die, what does it really matter? It ain't like nobody gonna miss me. I was broke, I was depressed, so if I die, that's kind of like a mercy almost. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
Right, so he said you a holy people, a chosen people, a special people. Read.
Unto himself. Above all people.
Read.
That are upon the face of the earth.
And the Most High said you also superior. Those aren't things that we think about ourselves as. We don't think about ourselves as holy, as chosen, as special, as superior. Because we're told that we're everything the opposite of that, right? Now let me give you another thing that it means to be an Israelite. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. So understanding those things, you are all those things to God. The white man don't feel like that about you, right? Your girl might not even feel like that about you. But the one person who does feel like that about you is the Most High God. But we don't treat the Most High God like that. We treat him like dirt. Because all he asks for us is to keep his commandments and he'll give us everything. We can't even do that. We only go to him when we want something. We use and abuse the Most High. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read.
Now Israel, what do the Most High thy power require of thee?
Alright, so when you grew up in the household, right? When you grew up in the household, you have requirements. You either had to take out the garbage, you had to do whatever, right? You had chores, so to speak, right? Or you had to be in the house at a certain time. You have certain requirements as a child in that household, correct? So now, understanding that you're an Israelite, you're a child of God, you have certain requirements. What do you think happens if you don't fulfill those requirements? Do you get rewarded or punished? You get punished, right? Now, have you ever considered that the way that we live in the hoods, in the slums, the way that we shoot down each other, the foods that we have access to that is no good for our health, the type of adversity that we face, have you ever considered that that's our punishment? Or did you just think that that's just the way it is? Because most of us grow up, that's just the way it is. And we just try to find a way out of it. But they never told us why it's this way. You get what I'm trying to say? But it's because we're not fulfilling our requirements. Let's see what our requirements are. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways.
Elder, let me get 2 minutes of your time, Elder. Real quick, let me get 2 minutes of your time. 2 minutes. Read.
To walk in all his ways and to love him.
And to do what?
And to love him.
How would you say you love God? How do you love God? If I were to ask you, man, listen, man, I'm trying to love God. How do I do it? What would you give? What would the answer you would give me? You use the praise God? All right, that's different. Because when you praise the Most High, that could be in a lot of ways, right? That could just be saying, you know, thank you, Most High. That could be singing a song. But I'm asking, how do you love God?
Many ways, though.
It's many ways. Let's see. Let me get that.
The book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Read.
For this is the love of God.
For this is the love of God. Read.
That we keep his commandments.
That we do what?
That we keep his commandments.
So now, I'm going to ask you again. How do you love God? Do you see? Now, guess what? If somebody wanted to argue with you, what would you do? You'll send them to the Bible and let them argue with the Bible. Because I promise you, if they 20 years old, when they turn 80 and they go to 1 John 5 and 3, it's still going to say the same thing. So that's a 60-year argument they're never going to win. Or you get what I'm trying to say? But if you say something if you just say, oh, to praise him, they can argue with you because you can't show them per the Bible. So that's what we got to do and come show our people, because this is the truth. The words of God is true. You can't dispute the words of the Bible unless you don't believe in it, right? And you don't want to go down that path. So now you understand that your requirement is to love him, but what does that love mean to do? To keep the commandments. So now, let me ask you a question. If I were to go into a store and buy some pork ribs, am I breaking God's commandments? How? No. The Bible doesn't say you're not supposed to eat animals.
So why did
No, I'm asking you. Is it a sin, yes or no, that I bought some pork ribs? All right. What if I bought some lobster? You don't know? All right, let me show you why. Leviticus 11 and 7.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 9.
No, start at verse 1. Start at verse 1. Yeah.
Verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
Right? So Moses is about to say, these are the beasts that you can eat. Read.
Whatever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
Right, so it has to have 3 criteria. Part the hoof, chew the cud, be cloven footed. Have to have 3 out of 3, can't have 1 out of 3, can't have 2 out of 3. Has to have 3 out of 3 in order for you to it to be an animal that's considered clean, which means you can eat it. Drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7.
Read.
And the swine.
And the who?
And the swine.
What's the swine? That's pork. Read.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
So why is he unclean? No. Read it again.
And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
So why is he unclean? Because he missing one. It's that simple. It's that, you see, the Most High is not an author of confusion. It's that simple. He don't make all 3. Therefore, he's unclean. So how should we deal with unclean animals? Read.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
Right.
And their carcass shall ye not touch.
So we can't eat those things, right? But those are concerning beasts. Things with 4 legs, so on and so forth. Now let's deal with what's in the water. Read.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Right.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
What?
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
No, just fins.
Fins and scales.
Just scales.
Fins and scales.
Right.
In the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers.
Right.
Them shall ye eat.
So in order for us to eat something out of the waters, what does it have to have? Fins and scales. What about just fins? What about just scales? All right. So now, do crab, shrimp, lobster, scallops, oysters, do those things have fins? So you supposed to eat them? So now, I want you to envision how your life will be different now. You walk into, let's say you go to Red Lobster. Let's say Red Lobster is your favorite restaurant. You don't have to stop going to Red Lobster, but you can't get the shrimp scampi. You can get the chicken pasta, right? So it's not a sin that you go into Red Lobster, but don't go there and order seafood that you're not supposed to eat. You see now how your life choices, the things that you do are in accordance with what? Your instruction and your requirements from who? From God. Because that's why grandma got the gout. Because grandma don't want to listen to what the they love the pork, right? They love the ham hock. They love the turkey. They love the ham at Thanksgiving dinner. Then they want to say it's hereditary. No, it's not hereditary. Let me get Lamentations 5 and 7. You see what I'm trying to say? I appreciate your time, bro. I appreciate your time. No, we're not on the flight.